So hello and welcome along to SBR GT3 Season 4, and yep, it's me unfortunately. Liam's got more duties with MX5 racing on a Monday night, so I'm taking over the endurance racing shift. So we're at Dragon Trail Seaside for the first round. 2 races, but I will be covering the long race and Liam will be covering the short race. So let's go through the teams. Kevin at number 1 in the Toyota, and he's joined again by Kulinen, number 69. That might have changed to 46. At the Nissan team, we've got Coleman in the Benson Hedges car, and he's joined obviously there by Brian. In the Rowe Porsche team, we have Will. Yorgos is number 7, sorry. Will number 8. In the Rockstar Lexus team is Ben number 5, and Sean number 14. The 7-Up Corvette team was initially Jordan, but he's been replaced by Dennis, and he's joined in that car by Andrew. We got the AlphaTauri Audis, and that's Liam number 41 and Lewis number 51. In the Petronas Mercedes team, we have Adam number 99 and Nathan number 44. And in the BMW team, well, we've got Tassos in number 79 and Panos in number 87. So that's the teams. Let's get to the racing. And this race, a 40-minute race around a grueling track that is Dragon Trail. And it was Kevin on pole from Nathan, Sean, Ben. So Lexus is well up. Tassos, Lewis, Kulinen, Yorgos, Adam, Panos, Koryo's stepping in for Liam, Coleman, Brian and Andrew at the back. So getting ready for the start. A lot of anticipation for this race. It's a grid start and waiting for the lights. Who's going to get the break? And they're away, and a great start by one of the Audis. That looks like Lewis, and there's a Mercedes bolting through the middle as well, but it is Nathan that leads. Kevin with not such a stellar start, and Lewis is through. Lewis through up into second place, and Kevin drops from pole down to third. It might even be fourth because Sean's diving down the inside. Will they all get round? 14 cars. A couple of guys couldn't make it tonight, and Tassos wide there, gets sideways, somehow catches that, and they plummet down now into this really fast right-hander, and it's a tricky one to get right, but they're all going in through single file. So a pretty good start to this championship, nice and safe. No one really in any strife, so that's what you want to see, good professional driving. And now down through this fast sweeping complex, which really does kill the tyres. Sean a little bit wide on the apex there, but cut it back to a late one for the second part. And Kevin now looking all the way around the back of Lewis, and he's dropped the car, he's spun over the curb, and he's lost it in front of the pack, and he'll be very lucky that he doesn't get hit, and he hasn't been somehow. And now that was just crazy. Now what happened? We're on board with Kevin, so let's see. He's very close to Lewis, maybe a little bit too close, and just caught the curb on the inside, understeers off, hits the curb and just spins instantly. But as he's spinning, he's dropping down the gears and gets going straight away. That is incredible driving from Kevin, and great awareness as well. Did not actually be hit by anyone, but it's dropped him right down to 10th place behind his teammate Kulinen. There does seem to be some aggro going on in front of him, so we'll cut to that now and let's see. And it's Ben down the inside. He's lost the back end. He's hit Tassos, and he's spun out. Disaster for the Lexus driver. He had a good start and a good qualifying. Wasn't expected to go well at this track, but now he is not going well at this track, and he's down to last place because there's Kulinen. I think it's Kulinen. Oh, might be different. But anyway, the end of the first lap, and Nathan's winning, and through the chicane has been more aggro. This chicane's killer, and it's killed Lewis. He's hit the inside and smashed onto the outside, and everyone's trying to avoid him. But disaster for Lewis as well. He's up in the second place, and already Kevin's making progress. We can see that. And Ben there at the back coming through, but Nathan with a great lead already. Sean up to second place from third on the grid. And then it's Tassos, who's made a really good start. He's up in third in the M6, car that we haven't seen too often in the series. Kevin already passed his teammate. That was probably a let by Kulinen, which is probably clever. Kevin's in inspired form in that car, so the champion from last season, no one really laid a glove on him, so everyone would be looking to go a little bit faster this season. But it is Tassos that's sort of the cork in the bottle right now. He's got Adam all over him. Coleman, sorry, is battling with Lewis, who's recovering from that accident. He probably would have got a bit more tyre wear for that incident as well, so any sort of crash does tend to result in the instant melting of your tyres. And tyres and strategy would be a big part of this race. So Nathan still has, Sean looks a bit closer actually, but tyres and fuel would be a huge part of this race, and whether the 2-stop or 3-stop, well, the drivers were discussing beforehand, so we'll see what the outcome is. Most will probably go for the 2, I would have thought. It all depends on your track position really, if you want to gamble. Adam's gambling now as he dives down the inside of Tassos, down the inside, and takes the position up into 3rd place. And Kevin at the same time goes past Panos and takes 6th place, sorry. So Kevin really flying up through the field, his 10th lap ago. So through this horrible chicane, and very hard to get right, and when you do, you gain a lot of time, and that looked like Tassos was really struggling to get through there, and he has got through, but lost a lot of time, just messed up the apexes, and actually falls behind his teammate there, Panos. So Kevin down the inside at the same time with Yorgos, so he takes about 2 positions there for the price of 1. And he's through. Meanwhile, this battle's still not over. Coleman and Lewis still fighting each other. Brian also having to go at Andrew, but the speed of that Skyline, that is a done deal. There's no way Lewis is fighting that. And the Lexus of Ben right at the back. Disappointment for Ben. But Nathan leads, and Sean is much closer. So Sean's obviously using a bit of tyre, using a bit of fuel in these early stages just to get into the slipstream of Nathan. It's not a bad idea because you can save a lot of fuel doing that. And Kevin meanwhile is now just trying to find some free air and get past Adam. A little bit of a nudge there from the Porsche, which then got a nudge from the BMWs. Everyone Constantina's up in this massive battle pack down to 10th place. On board with Adam, looking back at the aggressive front end of the Toyota. Toyota was a addition to this season, and Kevin snapped it up. Rumours that he was going to the Porsche, but he decided on the Toyota. But he's made a bit of a mistake there. He's just rammed Lewis up the Adam, sorry, up the back there, and that's going to cost him a bit of speed on the straight. But BMW's thinking about a move. Panos thinking about the inside, but backs out of it. Yorgos though seizes the opportunity to overtake Panos and even have a look at Kevin there. So great drive from the Porsche out of that tight corner, as you'd expect, with the rear engine, with the engine over the back of the rear wheels. Did that even make sense? And Sean's off. All of a sudden now Sean's off, and it's going to be that chicane again, isn't it? It's claimed another victim. I think we're going to have to start counting these. Oh, Andrew's pretty close as well, and Coonan comes through as well. Ben's through as well. So Sean down to last place, and he had to wait for everyone because his car had not gone see-through like they can do. And here's a replay, so we get a replay. That's good news. He just caught Nathan as well, so great job, and he clobbers the inside barrier, which sends him off into that outside barrier, and now he's just a sitting duck and hope no one else hits him. As the marauding pack comes storming through, but back up front, Yorgos making a move on the BMW of Panos, and Kevin still trying to find a way past Adam. So what's faster down the straight then? Is it the Toyota or the Mercedes? It'll be an interesting fight. And let's see which one's faster, and it was the Mercedes. Mercedes got a bit more grunt than the Toyota, and he's able to hold the place. But now Kevin round the outside. Now if he can stay there, he can get the inside for the second part of the chicane, and he has done that. So a good move from Kevin, and aggressively he's moved up from 10th to 2nd in about 3-4 laps. So the champion's still on form, but now he needs to chase down the other Mercedes of Nathan. As the Porsche makes another move, Yorgos tries down the inside of Adam. Adam has gone wide anyway, so it looks like Yorgos might have that. So Adam now just starting to fall back. And Coleman and Lewis are still side by side, and they have been since the start of this race. Meanwhile, Ben's moved up one place, but it's at the expense of his teammate Sean, who's miles back. So expect the Lexus to go aggressive on strategy now to get back in this game. Adam defending now from Yorgos. He's somehow stayed in front. And there's contact there. That looked like contact with a BMW, and that sent Yorgos off, so he'll be jumping about that. I'm not sure which one it was. It might have been Tassos, and that's going to make him fall down to 13th place. I don't think Sean's close enough to get through. No, he's not. But Nathan, look, with a really nice lead. That's got to be about 5-6 seconds. They'd be well happy with that. And Kevin's got the job of hunting him down, and Nathan's no slouch. Adam though third. Impressive from Adam. He started mid-pack, so he's charged through. Obviously aided by some of the dramas for the others, especially the two Lexus drivers. But Panos doing a great job as well, 4th. And here's Brian in 9th, ahead of Andrew in 10th, Courier, and then there's Ben, then Yorgos, and the other victim of his crash was Sean. But here comes Kevin, and we'll see how well he does, see if he can start catching Nathan. You'd suggest he is because of how fast he's pulled away from Adam, so you might have to turn the wick up to get a bit more involved in this race. Nathan, you can be sure, will be saving a bit of fuel right now. But into that tricky, fast left right-hander, and well, we've flashed back to something, but we've now got graphics as well, which is very helpful because it will tell me lap times and stuff, so, and the running order. So there we go. Adam in 3rd, followed by Panos, then it's Kulinen, and then Coleman as well. So Coleman charging up through as well. He's near the back at the start of the race. Ben meanwhile was past Yorgos, but we know about that because Yorgos had a crash. And Sean is well detached from the field, and he's off again. Sean is far too fast into that corner, it's far too hot into the corner, and a bad day just got worse. But Nathan's not having a bad day, and he's putting it to the champion right now. Obviously Kevin not with the greatest start to his race. It could have been worse though. He was lucky to get away with that without any damage and loss of more time, so he'll be happy with that. Meanwhile this is getting a bit crazy, and that looks like Courier's got past Andrew. Hope I'm saying your names right. I'm really sorry if I'm not. I'm just an ignorant British guy. There goes Coleman though. Again, gaining places past Panos, and Coleman is the only driver on soft tyres. So are they the way to go? Because he is absolutely flying through this field. There's Brian. I'm not sure he's on the same tyre, but Ben's got past Andrew as well. So I imagine that was out there. Chicane. And there goes, it looked like Kulinen was making a move on Adam, and he was. But Adam's holding the inside line, and Kulinen can't get through there, and he should back out of that, and he has. And that's just allowed Tassos through. Tassos passes Kulinen, and that's even a run at Adam. He might get 2 for 1 here. Like he's gone down the supermarket and found a good deal on beer. He's got taken 2 for 1, and he's even been hit up the back and still just about made the corner. Wow. Adam should just back out of that and let Tassos go, really, because he did just whack him up the back. But now he's side by side with Kulinen, and I'm sure Tassos will not be happy about that. He'd made a fantastic move past the pair of them, and now finds himself still behind them, having to waste fuel and tyres trying to repass the pair of them again. In the background, Lewis is off again. This time he just about holds it. Brian though just storming along quite well, but he's got Ben closing in pretty quickly. He'll be on a bit of a charge after making an error, looked like, by himself. There's Courier at the back now after his spin. I believe he spun at the chicane the previous lap, which we haven't caught, but never mind. Kulinen 3rd then, and now Adam's down the inside, and he's got Tassos around the outside, so this can't stay like this forever as we work lap 6. And now Kulinen down the inside of Tassos. Looks like he might have that done, but nope, the BMW's quick down the straight, and now he's got Coleman alongside him, and we know who's going to win that straight line fight. But actually he's managed to cover it. Need a better angle. There we go. Right, now Coleman's down the inside, so he's using the power of the Nissan. Gets alongside. Now can he outbrake the Toyota? It's very unlikely. And he can't, but he's trying to do what Kevin did earlier and try to hold it around the outside. And meanwhile Tassos has finally got into 3rd position, just a lap later than he had actually planned, and Ben goes through past Brian, does he? Nope, didn't quite get the job done. But now he's looking again down the inside. Nope, not doing. Andrew's getting close, and so is Yorgos in the background, so battle for 9th is just as intense as a battle for 3rd. Oh, Ben's lost it, he's in the wall, and I did see another car slow, and it was Kulinen, so Kulinen's made a mistake. He's gone from 4th down to 8th, and this is how. So he's come down through the fast kink. Got on the curb a little bit, maybe. No, he's lost the back of the car. Looks like exactly the same as what Ben does about 10 seconds later. So loses back into the car, hits the tyre wall, and that is game over. But not. Yep, and there's a replay of Ben doing exactly the same thing again, just to clear that up. So they both made the same error, so that's quite strange. Maybe a bit too much rear bias, trying to save the front tyres. But they're both still in the race, just another delay for Ben. But Coleman, pretty much one of the stars of the race other than Kevin right now, as he's storming up through the field on his soft tyres. A bit wide there though. And using the power of the Nissan to great effect. Lewis is off again in the background, so he's really struggling with the Audi. A car that he knows well from season 1. Ben, meanwhile, has now finally passed Brian. Brian put up a great defence, but it looks like now he might have the place. No, Brian's still fighting, you know, and Brian will take that back. He's on the line. One of them has to give up, and Brian is taking it back. So Brian really not having this. And now as they come out the chicane, who's got the advantage? Still Brian, and Ben was a bit slow, and he's got Andrew all over him. Yorgos is there now as well, so this has become a 4-car train. And now Ben dives down the inside. Is a bit late with that one, maybe a bit of contact, but he's through and immediately pits. Kulinen's in as well, so lap 7 is the start of the pit stops. Comes in with 41 litres of fuel, and that's a lot more than some of the others. Ben with 34. And it's all about how much they put in and how far they're willing to go. Now look, quite quick for Kulinen. Let's see what he comes out with. 74, so he has short filled. Ben goes out with 75, so Ben's short filled as well. Brian 93, so he's going longer. And it's important to watch these stops to see what fuel everyone's got. It tells the story of the race. 77 is that for Sean, so he's short filled. So these guys looking for a short middle stint, or at least with less fuel anyway, so it takes the pressure off the tyres a bit. But Yorgos up to 8th and Andrew 9th now. Panos in 7th, so they're quite a way ahead of that battle. Tassos starting to make 3rd his own. Nathan meanwhile is still out front. How far is Kevin back? Still pretty much the same sort of gap, I would say. So Nathan doing a fantastic work. There's Kevin in the background. You see him maybe a tiny bit closer, but he's not racing up to Nathan like he did the rest. Tells you a lot about what Nathan's doing right now. And they both pit. That looked like, yeah, Nathan's in it. It looked like Kevin was going to follow. Now this will be interesting with the fuel. Kevin's probably his greatest attribute other than his speed is his strategy, and Nathan came in with 5 litres more. So if they both fill up, you would imagine that Nathan will get out first, and everyone else coming in, so we'll cover that as well. But Nathan goes out with 100 litres, so he's filled, and Kevin's right on him. Look, so Kevin's only put 74 in, so Kevin's made up the time by putting less fuel in, and I will come to that in a minute. I've got an idea on that. Adam's pitted as well, so is Lewis, so is Panos, and Andrew pits with 1 litre left. So what was he going around in 3rd gear or what? And out they go, most of them on 100 litres. And that is Yorgos. Unfortunately his teammate Will couldn't make the race. He tried to join a few times, but there was some internet issues for him, and short fill for Yorgos as well. So Coleman up to 2nd now, incredibly. I think he started like 10th, maybe even lower than that. But Nathan with Kevin behind him now. I think what Kevin's done is she's short filled to get in the slipstream of Nathan, and then he could just save fuel and then probably pit at the same time for the second stops, and then be able to jump the Mercedes. So that is my theory on it. I'm probably wrong, but it's working so far. He's not looking to overtake Nathan by the looks of it to me. He would have sent one up the inside if he was going to. And his car's a little bit lighter as well, so he should be a little bit faster. So yep, strategy is a major part of these races, and trying to keep on top of it is quite hard for someone like myself who has no brains. But I can tell from one thing for you is the courier is not enjoying that Audi. Like I say, standing in for Liam. Liam unfortunately broke down in his Mini. Stop laughing. And wasn't able to make it to the races. So yep. Here comes Tassos then. So he's managed to go to lap 9 with his BMW. So good effort from him, and good pace as well. In he comes. And someone else is joining him. Coleman has come in, and you can see he's on the soft tyre. Now it'll be interesting to see if he stays on that as Nathan goes through. Nathan's gone through, but he's way, and Kevin's in front. So what's happened there? Nathan was the de facto sort of leader of this race. Coleman's gone wide, so his soft tyres are cried enough after 9 laps. So it's going to be the chicane again, isn't it? I think it's going to be its hat-trick of victims. Coleman just following Kevin through, and this is going to be painful to watch. And yeah, he's clipped the inside barrier, and it's completely destroyed his car basically, and it puts you in a slowdown mode for about 10 seconds. And yep, that's going to help Kevin. Remember, Kevin's got less fuel, so it's not over yet. It's all going to be down to the second pit stops. Some people doing 3, like I said, and we'll try and keep across that. But say Tassos is in and Coleman's in as well, and here we are. Like I say, it would be interesting to see if Coleman does go onto that soft tyre again. The Schubert Carla. And Most of these liveries made by Kevin. The Lexus liveries made by Ashley Sharp, and Liam made his own, the AlphaTauri ones. So good variety across the field. Quite like that Benson and Hedges one, I have to say. And 100 litres of fuel for Coco and a soft tyre again, so he's happy with that. But he's lost track position to Ben. Ben pitted 3 laps ago and has gained enough time to get ahead of Coleman. So the Lexus on the right path at last. Kevin, though, it is the leads, and that's a big lead. So a disaster for Nathan. He'll be jumping at that. But Tassos then, he was sort of pulling away in third, but through the strategies and all that, the other group have caught up. And Ben's not that far off the back of that group either. Lewis will look to have a better stint as well. He's got a bit leery, and he's leery again there through that very, very fast chicane where you don't want to be leery. And Adam now looking down the outside of the BMW driver Tassos. And he gets it done. Does he, or does Tassos come back? I would have thought he would come back, and they've tried to outbrake each other, and Adam's outbroke himself, and that's let the other BMW through of Panos and Kulinen. Kulinen on the comeback as well from his disastrous crash. Again, they file through this chicane, which is so easy to get wrong. It's just so fast, and you have to be so reactive. And getting that wrong is quite common, as we've seen already. And it's very painful. Normally you get damage, and it does cost you a lot of time as the car gets back up to speed. And there is Lewis, struggling to have an effect on the race. Coleman on his soft tyres and full of fuel as well, remember. And there's Sean, we haven't seen him for a while. He's up to 11th place. Past Brian. Brian's outbraked himself and gone in way too deep into the last corner. Unfortunate for Brian, but he's learning these cars. Or that car, sorry, the Nissan. And there's Nathan, but let's have a look at his lap time. 37.7. It's not going to lay a glove on Kevin at the moment, I'm afraid. A good variety of nationalities, really. I know there is only 2, but Greece leads Britain against, and then Greece, then Britain, and Greece, and Britain, and Britain. So a good variety. But up front, it's Greece versus Britain in the form of Kevin versus Nathan. I'm not sure Kevin would have thought that he's going to have this much trouble from someone. He's normally pretty capable of pulling away from everyone in these races, but seems to have found himself a championship rival in Nathan. And we look back at Kulinen in the front end of the Toyota, and he has stuck, in fact, with number 69. There's rumours of 46, but nope, he's stuck with 69, so fair play. Through the chicane again then. And Tassos just starting to edge away now from that group. Adam there, Panos, Kulinen, and Lewis in the barrier again. Now he made the brave decision to go to that Audi, but really struggled to get used to it. He was very fast in it in season 1, nearly won the championship. And Panos there, I think he's just overtaken Adam. So that's a BMW 3-4 now. So BMW's making good progress. There's only one Porsche, but like I say, Will did try 100 times to join the session. It just didn't work out. We even restarted it for him. But it is Kevin that leads, and with fastest lap as well, so Nathan's not catching that. But like I say, remember, he had more fuel, so he may catch up in the pit stops. As now Adam looks down the inside and tries to retake the place from Panos. Not happening there though. Looks for a little cutback. Actually runs wide himself, and that will be music to the ears of Kulinen. And Adam then again looking through the fast sweeper, but that's really not the place to try and make an overtake. So it's the Schubert car against the Petronas car against the Monster car, and then the AlphaTauri car in the background. Again, they plunge downhill, and Adam's now down the inside of Panos, but thinks better of it. Didn't think he could complete the move fairly, so backs out of it. That's the right thing to do, but now Kulinen's fancying a little look at Adam. He won't pass through here, I don't think. It's too fast. And wherever it's one line, it's not a good idea to make a move, to be fair. And that was a mistake from Adam, and a big mistake from Lewis. Again, he's just on the edge of control with that car. Does look like he's struggling slightly. And now here comes Adam again. Looks down the inside, but it's more of a look than anything. And little tap there from Kulinen as Adam obviously just slow on the apex there as he looked down the inside. And there's Ben not really catching that group, and there's Coleman as well with a lot of fuel, as we know. Hopefully that'll pay off for him later. And the only Corvette in the race is Andrew in 14th. Meanwhile, your leader still pulling away from Nathan. So he's probably changed tact now and thought, you know what, I need to go for it. I need to pull as big a lead as possible before the pit stops. He probably knows that Nathan's got more fuel. In fact, he will know because he was right behind him after the pit stops when he wasn't before. And here, this is looking crazy. Cullinan down the inside makes a very good move and is through. It looked like Lewis made a mistake behind. I think he went into the barrier. Yeah, he did. Just dropped back. And Sean comes out of the pits, so he's free stopping. So that's well, the only thing you can do when you're out of position like he is. Try something else and hope everyone's tyres fall apart. Nathan though driving aggressively, but just really not making an impression on Kevin at the moment. But remember, he's running more fuel, and that's that's gone bad. That's Cullinan in the wall, and it looks like Adam's guilty because he's slowed down. And as they head in the hairpin, Adam's a long way back, and he just does not manage to stop and has nowhere to go and into the back of Cullinan, but rightly slows down and let Cullinan past, which is the rules. So he's let him go, and that's put Lewis back onto the back of that pack, so Lewis will be happy about it. In the back you can see Ben and Coleman closing in as well, so we're about halfway through the race now. Sparks fly as Cullinan comes through the chicane. And Adam already looking to take that place straight back, and he's doing it down the inside, and that's given the two BMWs a break, Tassos and Panos, as they pull away. Lewis though also spying an opportunity on Cullinan. Now this will be an interesting battle, Toyota against Audi. I know the Audi's not as fast as the Mercedes down the straight, but the Audi's getting a nice slipstream off the Mercedes. And meanwhile Ben's pitted, so he's also free stopping. That pits Coleman up into 8th place. You can see Coleman closing in on these guys as they start to get really aggressive, and there is Ben in the colour changing Lexus. Depends which way you look at it. Goes from gold to red and yellow and bits and bobs. But he's filled up with fuel as well, so he's not looking to put a lot of fuel in for the last stint. Meanwhile, Corrier's coming as well, covering for Liam, and is doing a difficult job. Doing a good job in difficult circumstances, really just thrown it at the deep end. Basically got the call 5 minutes before this race to race. Hasn't driven the car, and if he scores any points, it's a miracle. So fair play to him for doing that, and I'm sure Liam's very thankful for any points you're going to bring home. Down into this hairpin where it all went wrong a lap ago. Adams put Nita through there this time, and Lewis has got a second win, and he's holding on to these guys. Cullinan's thinking about a move halfway through that corner, but thinks better of it, and quite wisely. Lewis in the wall again there. Seems to be his line. Just cannot get through there. Now he's moving across on the straight, which is just not really advisable, and Cullinan shows him what he thinks of that. And yeah, but that's the Toyota back up to 6th place in that ever-changing 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th battle. There's Andrew. He looks like he's had a bit of trouble as well. He's a bit slow there over the top of the hill. Probably been in the wall. There's Tassos just ahead of his teammate Panos, so a good day for BMW so far. But down the inside comes Lewis now on Cullinan. Cullinan covers it. So that Audi looks a bit quicker than the old Toyota down the straight. Probably picking up a nice slipstream there from the Toyota, the Mercedes, sorry. Through the fast kink. Such a hard corner to get right and judge. You've basically got to commit to a speed and stick with it. Ooh, Lewis sideways again. Rear tyres on that Audi are really crying enough now. They're heavily into their second stint now, so tyres will struggle to last. Tassos though in a nice position. He's got a nice gap behind him, and the car behind him is his teammate, so he can just concentrate on the drive, and wide from Adam, and that's what cost Kevin earlier in the race, so he doesn't want to do too much of that. And Panos just starting to break away from these guys. Adam quite wide on entry, but that means he can pull it tight on the exit, I suppose. And he's doing a good job, and Lewis off again at that corner, kicking up the dust. Coleman just edging his way back into contention, as are the Lexuses. We're going to go with Lexi. 10th and 11th at the moment, but they've made their second stops. And look out for them in the last stint, because they'll be low on fuel and with fresh tyres against these guys that will be hanging on. Tassos doing a fantastic job right now, up in third. You're probably pretty glad he's not part of this battle for 5th, 6th and 7th. Coleman just doesn't seem to be quite be able to get involved, but remember he's filled up with fuel, so he has a lot more fuel than those guys. Yorgos was short on fuel, so he would have made his second stop now, I'm pretty sure of it. And he's bombing along in 9th place at the moment. And then there's Ben. And there's Corrier again in the wall, so that just proving that the Audi is very tricky to drive on this track. Kevin though, doing well. 38.8 I believe that says, it's quite hard to see on my screen. And 38.4 for Nathan, so Nathan's finally starting to, well, make an impression. So Kevin's been faster since the first pit stop, so now Nathan can actually make a bit of an impression. Kevin's so good through that chicane though. Nathan less so, he's in the wall a little bit there. He's kicking up the dust and taking a big chunk out the barrier, but he's still got Kevin in sight, so like I say, the fuel will make a difference. I'm not sure it's going to make that much of a difference, but for sure Nathan's still not quite out of this race, especially when you can see your opponent. It gives you heart, and you will see him on that long straight. But very impressive from Nathan, to be honest, to be even on the same straight as Kevin. We know how fast he is. Meanwhile, the BMW's still doing a good job. Panos looks like he's being closed down a little bit by Kulinen, who seems to have broken away a bit with Lewis. So what's happened to Adam then? Because Adam was there, and Kulinen's gone around the outside. Adam's holding position. Looks like he's going to keep the place. And he has. He's in front. And then what's happened here? Oh, Kulinen's gone across the curb and slammed into Adam and pushed him into the barrier. On board with Lewis, we see it all. But really, Kulinen was wrong to stay into that. He should have just got in behind Adam, and he had no real right to stay there. He was across the curbs and into the side of the Mercedes and didn't slow down to wait for him either. So, and as I look down now, I can see that he was actually penalised for that. The stewards looked dimly on that and received a penalty. So, and looking at that again, I would say rightly so. There's Corrier, like I say, struggling a little bit with the Audi. Brian and with a gap over Andrew, but he's now got Kevin closing him down. And into the pits has come Adam, Kulinen and Panos, which I'm sure we'll get to. But Kevin will want to get past as soon as he can, and there comes Kulinen out the pits behind Ben, intriguingly. And then there's Adam. And Yorgos has made a second stop, so Yorgos hadn't made his second stop before, but he has now. Brian's still in front of Kevin, so Kevin won't be too pleased with this. He'll want to get past that Nissan as fast as possible, but I'm not seeing any blue flags, so maybe this isn't Brian's fault. Normally you get blue flags fly up on the screen and stuff like that, so there may be a mistake with the lobby and the flags aren't on, and that's going to cost Kevin, and he can't be asked to do that anymore. He's pitted. Now will Nathan follow him in again? He does. So now we're going to get the battle, because this is both of their final stops, and Nathan came in with 18 litres more, so he'll have 18 litres less to put in his car. Let's be interesting to see what they both do. And it also looks like the third place Tassos is in, so Kevin leaves with 71 litres, Nathan 73, and he's right there now. He's now within, and they're both on basically the same fuel load now, so there's not a case of Nathan's heavier anymore, so we'll see what their relative pace is. It looks like Kevin's still got the advantage. Tassos came in with only one. He played that one clever. 1 litre of fuel as Coleman and Lewis come in. And we'll see what they do, but it looks like Coleman's staying on the soft tyre. That's promoted Panos as he goes past. And Sean goes past as well, but Sean again will have to make another pit stop yet. That means Ben's through as well, I believe. Yeah, there's Sean 6th at the moment, but that's not really true. Ben in 4th, and he's going to pit again as well. So if anything, he's going to hold Panos up for him a little moment. Ben due to stop in the next 2 laps for his final pit stop. So both Lexus cars have gone, Rockstar Lexus cars have gone aggressive on strategy and doing the free stop. Kevin though seems to still have Nathan in sort of in the pocket really. He's sort of been controlling this since he took the lead. There's Nathan sideways over the chicane. He's trying hard, bless him, but it's not really making an impact on Kevin at the moment. Not relatively, you know. Tassos though third, looks safe in that position. Ben battling with his teammate Panos. And the BMWs really are the surprise package of today, or this race so far. Not widely tipped to do well, but they're doing a very good job. Didn't qualify all that strongly, but in the race is what matters, and that's where the points are. So BMWs have come through well, through all the chaos. A little tap of the barrier there for Panos, so he won't get past Ben now. And there's Lewis in the barrier again, and that's big damage. So he will struggle to get away with that, and the car's crabbing a little bit. So for the next 10-15 seconds his car will be down to half speed. Ben still holding up Panos though, and we'll look back at the M6. Does it make an impression, especially in the slipstream? It should. It is. It's closing. And will Panos go for the move? He doesn't, so maybe he's quite happy to sit there and just fuel save for the moment. But really close to the Lexus right now. Schubert car. Come off that through this very fast kink, breaking into the tight second gear corner. Ooh, Ben almost hit that barrier again. He's already put a stamp on that one. And there's Sean, and this is Sean pitting. So Sean pits lap 19, and Ben's in as well. So we've just fast forwarded 63 litres for Ben. That'll get him to the end. So he'll be really fast now on new tyres and low fuel. Sean looks like he's taking on a little bit more. And Courier pits as well from 12th, but he's a little bit further back. Sean with 90 litres, so he's probably overclubbed that slightly. I think he wants to do a sprint race as well, but this is getting interesting. Nathan, fastest lap of the race. So he had pace, but was obviously being held back by his fuel and maybe fuel saving himself. And now he's shown what he's got, and he's hunting Kevin down, and Kevin will not be expecting that. As we've discussed, Tassos is quite safe in third. Fourth is Lewis. Ben is fifth then after his pit stop, so he's flying after Lewis. I don't know if he's got time to catch him though, but Coleman seventh on his softs with Adam right behind him. Adam though good over the hill and down the other side. Looks down the inside, but Coleman's got that. Coleman, as we can see, is on the soft tyre, so we've got the graphics now that tell us tyre wear and telemetry as well, so got there in the end. Adam though just taking his time behind Coleman. He's on the super soft tyres, so he needs to get through while his tyres are at an advantage. Coleman though good through that chicane, and now he's got the power of the Nissan down that straight. Incredible power of that Nissan, but in the slipstream the Mercedes is able to leave a glove on it. He's thinking about the inside at the last corner, but Coleman's late on the brakes. Coleman very good on the brakes. Kulinen meanwhile is dropped back, and Courier is in the wall again. That's pretty much Audi wall. Every time we look there is an Audi in there. Kevin though, let's have a look at lap times again. 37.1, and Nathan looks closer again in a 36.8. So well, Kevin's trying to respond, but Nathan's just going faster and faster, and this will be worrying for the champ. Number one on his car, but is he going to be number one in this race? Nathan is taking huge chances trying to catch Kevin, literally over the limit, trying to catch up with that Toyota. If we can get the slipstream, it should pull him in. So he's getting pretty much close enough to do that. Lewis though in fourth, and Ben's closing him down as well for fourth position in the colour changing Lexus. Some people said that he's done that so he can get away with some stewards' inquiries, but discuss. Adam though has passed Coleman somewhere on the track, probably at the first corner. We missed that. Kulinen no ninth. Sean homing in 10th. So Sean's looking to have a good end to this race after a pretty poor start to it for both Lexus cars. Here's the lead though in another. Well, yep, he was faster again by a couple tenths. So this is on. 3 laps left of this race. can Nathan take the lead back from Kevin that he lost when he had that accident through the chicane? We've got a grandstand finish here in this first race of the season in season 4 of SBR GT3. Coleman though is not giving up on Adam, but Adam looks like he's just edging that fight. Sean is definitely closing in on Cullinan, and Correa does make the chicane this lap, so that's all good news. Through the chicane they come again, and there is Nathan then, so he is now right on the back of Kevin, and Kevin is the one that makes a mistake for the chicane that time, so that will allow Nathan to get right close now. Heading into the last corner, he's got the slipstream that will pull him in. The Mercedes, as we know, is a bit quicker on the straight anyway, so Kevin's now really going to have to work for this. This is not going to be a walk home win like he's used to. He's going to have to work for it. The Mercedes again will pull him in down here. Nathan though very fast, another 2 tenths out of Kevin that lap. And into the chicane, so real good through there was Nathan. He definitely gained a bit. As we fast forward to the end of this lap, lap 23, and Nathan now even closer than ever. And again at this last corner he's really close, and he dives in to get a good initial entry to the corner, and he's got the grip to hold it as well, so he's really close now, and this could be his opportunity. He's fast down the straight than Toyota, he's closing in. Will he go right or left? He should go left. Kevin's not covering it, he's going right. Kevin's moved to the middle, and Nathan tries to go around the outside, but it's not on, so he's using a bit of patience, but he's fast again through the chicane. Kevin sideways gets a wiggle on, but Nathan's not quite close enough to take advantage. Can he now switch back to the outside and then switch to the inside for the hairpin? But no, he's not quite close enough, and you just feel like if he had gone down the inside at the first corner he might have made that overtake, but Nathan's not one to make any rash moves. Meanwhile, Sean has caught Cullinan and has made the overtake, and up into ninth for Sean, so lessening the damage. As we saw, Sean was fast and he caught Nathan early in the race, so Sean will be pretty gutted he's not on the podium. And it's Andrew, and there's Kevin now, and he looks a bit more comfortable this lap through that chicane, and has actually pulled a little bit of a gap to Nathan. I think Nathan had his chance and he didn't take it. Played it safe. It is only round 1 after all, so probably the best thing to do. And these guys now starting their last lap, so this race has flown by. And there's Tassos in a very easy 3rd position, which he's made his own after initial squabbles with Adam and the rest. Adam, Lewis, Cullinan, and there is Lewis, but he's got issues. Ben's closing in very quickly now. This is the penultimate lap for these guys, so that shows you how far back they are. But that Audi doesn't look very secure on the back end. He's looking a bit worried on tyre wear, and so is Adam by the looks of that screenshot. And he's got Coleman behind him on the softs, then Sean closing fast, who's on obviously fresh super soft sand low fuel, so a deadly mix. Nathan's closing in again on this last lap, but I think it's all a bit too late unless he can get very quickly over the top of this hill and get a very fast chicane. I think it's to no avail. Meanwhile, here's a battle for 4th. They're just starting their last lap. Ben's closing in on the Audi. He's gone right. It's dummied Lewis, and he's gone to the outside, and which will become the inside for the first corner. Can he complete the move? They go flying into the first corner. He's done it. Lewis has just got no grip, as you can see. He's literally drifting through those first 2 corners. Ben's covered him off and up into 4th place. So from the back of the grid, after his spin on the first lap, he's managed to salvage 4th. Sean goes around the outside of Adam, and now he'll look to get past Coleman, who's also got past Adam. Coleman covers that well though. So the Lexus drivers attacking late on, but it is going to be Kevin that wins. Nathan couldn't get through the chicane faster, and Kevin gets the win despite doing a 360 on the first lap. Kevin wins after a great race with Nathan, and they're both happy about that. You can see Nathan with a fantastic drive in 2nd place. Tassos, well, 3rd place, but a mile back, but on the podium in the M6, so a good result for that car. Low on fuel though, so he's going to have to be a bit careful. And the BMW comes home in third. So the top 5 look like they're going to be all different manufacturers. So we've got Toyota, Mercedes, BMW, Lexus and Audi at the moment. And then Porsche. So the top 6 are actually different manufacturers. Fantastic. 4th though, Ben's got that in the bag. It's weaving unnecessarily really, because Lewis isn't close enough to make a move. And he hasn't really got the tyres to complete it anyway. And you can see that he's all sideways in the background. Ben 4th though. Brilliant drive from him from 14th on the first lap. Back up to 4th with a good bit of strategy. 5th for Lewis. He'd be happy with that just because his tyres were wrecked. We'll go back to this battle then. It's worth watching, so we've saved it. Coleman still 7th on his softs, but with the light fuel and the faster tyre, Sean's looking around the outside down towards the hairpin. Nissan should pull that back a little bit on the straight. Sean's trying to go around the outside in a brilliant move, brakes really late, and now he'll have the tyres to go around the outside. Meanwhile, Cullinan and Adam are still at it. It's not over between those two, and we've had aggro already between them. We've hit each other twice as Correa goes off again. And now Adam's returning the favour. He's not backing out for that chicane, but he does now. Coleman loses it and just about holds off Cullinan by covering the inside. Cullinan now under attack from Adam. You can see him in the mirror. And he's probably looking at Adam. He's not realised he's totally outbraked himself and into the side of Coleman. And he should now let off and let Coleman through. But 5th there, we saw Lewis. 6th for Yorgos. Brilliant drive from him as well. Remember, he also had a crash early on. 7th is Sean, he won't believe his luck. 8th is Adam. 9th is Cullinan across the line. And 10th was Coleman. But those positions were changed. And actually, Cullinan, with all his time penalties, finished 11th place. So there's the results. So it's Kevin from Nathan from Tassos, Ben, Lewis, Yorgos, Sean, Adam. Then it was Coleman, Correa. Then it was Cullinan and Andrew. Brian was 13th and Panos was 14th. It's a disappointment for the other BMW, so I don't really know what happened there. He must have had a crash. But anyway, that's the endurance race. Join Liam for the sprint race, and those highlights will be up very, very soon.